All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Brothers Podcast Live. We are here, right here tonight. I had that thing up on the screen. If this is your first time viewing us or joining us tonight, we'll take an opportunity to introduce ourselves in just a moment. But before we do that, I want to say that we had a little bit of a delay in getting on here. But I want to say that we're here. So I'm Trayvon. Next to me, you'll see Mac. Mac, say what's up.
What's up, everybody?
All right. Then you'll see Sherman. Say what's up, Sherman. Sherman's muted, but you can say what's up to him.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thanks for coming in.
All right. Then you got Pat. Pat, say what's happening.
Grace and peace, much and love to everyone.
All right, y'all. Pat's grace and peace in us tonight. And then, last but not least, guys, he's here. He's here,
Patrick.
But he's not really here right now. Y'all say what's up to B. Brandon, what's happening?
Hey.
All right, to our viewers, help us out. Let us know. Are you guys getting delays tonight? Because I'm getting us glitching a little bit. Oh, you know what I need to do? Hold on, this is me. That's my fault. Let me see if this will work. All right, cool. All right. One of you guys do us a favor right quick. If you see us looking down at our phone, you see us looking down right now, it's because we are doing what we're getting ready to ask you to do, and that is share this live video with all of your friends, your family. Let them know that we are up. We're live tonight. And Mac is back with us. Here he is. All right. Mac, is that a little better?
I couldn't hear Patrick.
So as you guys come in, say what's up. Say that again, Mac.
I couldn't hear Patrick.
Okay. Pat.
Yo.
All right. That better? All right, cool.
Yep.
All right. So, guys, tonight we got a great topic for everybody. I think a topic that everybody's going to really enjoy. And so I think everybody's going to have a good time with this one. Be able to talk, get some enlightenment, also laugh a little bit. That's what this show's all about. Want you to do this for us. Want you to share it, but let everybody know we love to have fun. That's what the brothers do. We're letting you in on our conversations. This is how we talk when we all get on the phone together. We all hang out. This is how our conversations go. So you're about to get a little bit of that and enjoy that. Tonight's topic, again, is church hurt. And we're asking the question, what you going to do about it? All right, you just gonna stay hurt or what? What you gonna do? All right. So we're gonna move on from that in just a minute. Tonight we've got some Ask the Brothers questions that's coming. Also, we've got one of our brothers says his wife tried to kill him this week, and so one of our brothers says his wife tried to kill him this week. We want to know which brother that was. Who do you think that was, y'all? Y'all, which wife do y'all think that was? And then once you guys tell us which wife you think it is, we'll be back tonight so they can tell us the story and tell us how it all went down. All right, how that wife tried to kill him. All right, y'all. Today is Tuesday. How'd y'all week go so far? How's it going so far?
Good.
Cool.
Going good.
Going good. This week sucks.
Oh. Did you plan that? First of all, did you all plan the whole Did you all just all right, comments. All right. So all right. I don't forgot where I was. Let's get these views up, everybody. If these views aren't up enough, Pat and Aaron are gonna be telling y'all throughout the night like they be. Let's get these views up. But all right. So what y'all do, man? Sunday. How was Sunday for y'all?
Good. I just sat there and worshiped with everybody else. It was very good.
You got an opportunity to sit in the congregation for a change.
I got to be virtual, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, virtual congregation is.
Yeah. And got to watch Eric preach for a second. Just looked. So that was nice. Everybody, well, almost everybody.
Yeah. All right. So what about you guys? Pat, man, you preach like crazy Sunday, bro.
Pat had that new sound going.
That's what it was. Should I preach?
Nah, Pat had on his favorite shirt. That's what it was, man. You got to make sure you can't wear a shirt like that and not preach.
Y'all need help.
So how was it, Pat?
It was cool. I came home, went to sleep.
Yeah.
Then I woke up and our church hopped.
I had that church hopping spirit.
Yeah, that's right. Say what, Sherman?
You got that church hopping spirit.
Mm-hmm.
So
now, I can't say much because right now Aaron and I are having church at the same time, and we've never had church at the same time. So during my praise and worship, I'll be over at their church.
Yeah, I flipped between the two. Thank God Matt went late Sunday.
Yeah, he tried. Yeah, because
he confused me.
Viewers.
Yeah, it didn't upload. So
so he had to look. That was some good PR, bro. That was some good advertisement. Talking about the switch up, and the real reason was it didn't upload.
And the crazy thing was, our media director texted me while I was in the funeral Sunday, and so I was making the flyer while I was walking out of the funeral.
Oh God!
What?
I don't want to know whose funeral it was.
Yeah, I listened to Sherman that morning. I ain't want to hear him twice that day, so I just listened to his one service.
Wow.
I was asleep. Seriously, I was asleep.
Wow. At which one, Pat? The morning or the night? I mean, my God, which one?
I was asleep in Wilson.
I was gonna say something.
God can handle it better than you can. Leave it alone.
Hey. Trey, did your lamp just fall? You just had technical difficulty, bro?
No, I moved my table closer to it and the lamp was over. You can be quiet though. Thanks a lot. Calling out my inconsistency. Thank you, buddy. Grumpy, thanks a lot.
I got too much headroom.
Feel like you got too much space. Wow.
Sorry.
So, Aaron, did you ever get your stand together?
Yeah, I'm using my snare stand right now.
Your snare stand. Hey, for those of you who are just tuning in, thank you guys so much. We believe that most of you guys have already shared. If you have not, hit that share button right quick. Share it to your page and tag a friend if you will. What we want to do is make sure that we get as much as we can going. But listen, we're getting ready to hop into this topic, church hurt. We've heard it so many times. People say they were hurt by the church. They are sick of church. They don't do church anymore. Church is this, church is that. And hey, some people have legitimate reasons and some people may not. Let's see what's being said tonight. Talk to the brothers and see what we feel about it. And let's see how the conversation goes. I will tell you guys this. When we had our predecessor, you see the faces already? Look at these faces. We had our, as I call it, the pre-discussion earlier in the week, getting our planning together for tonight. Conversation got a little, whatever. So we're going to see how that goes tonight, all right? Here we go. Hit that share button so y'all can see how this goes. Church hurt. Is it real? This is a yes or no question. Is it real? Go.
Who are you asking?
You say who?
He just said go.
I just said go. Is church hurt real?
I guess we should ask the ones who didn't want to talk about it.
Hold on, Brandon. Hold on real quick. All of our viewers, real quick. I want our viewers to do something. All of our viewers, I want you to tell us which of the brothers Out of all possible, which of the brothers was like, heck no to this topic? Which brothers were it? Name them out. Call them out. Which brothers was it?
Unless
Word.
Ox Limit is real.
Which brothers? And then
I mean,
when
if they're
it will go. Say it again, Pat.
if they are repeaters from last week, they already know.
They already know.
They already know. You watched the last one.
I was about
So
to
tell us.
say, they watched last week.
Somebody said, okay, don't y'all say anything, brothers. Somebody says it's real. Oh, Ruth said it was you. Ruth said it was you, Pat. John said it was Pat and Mac. Bishop Blue got the eyes up. Devon said it's hold on. He says it's Sherman. Oh, they're going fast. Okay, hold on. Erica said it's Pat. Sean said Pastor Mac. Pastor Sherman. Ruth said it's her first time walking.
Come on,
Please don't.
come on.
Hit that share button. All right, Pastor Pat.
Hey,
Raven
Ruth-
said Pastor Pat. So
Ruth coming for you, Pat.
Come
hey,
on,
Pat,
Sid.
what do people think about you? Hey, look,
Come on, Sid.
Raven said both the Pastor Max. All right, so which of the brothers? Let's go ahead and expose the truth tonight. Which of the
I've been hurt
brothers?
in the church as I attempt to do God's work.
All right,
I've been singing that song all week. My people call themselves saints.
look at this one. Look at Raven. Everybody, Raven, that's probably because I seem the most excited. I'm always excited, Raven. I'm the brother that everybody be like, please. I'm waiting for that. Pastor Pat and Pastor Sherman. All right. So
That's
actually,
interesting.
if you say it again, Pat,
That's interesting.
everybody's saying Pat. So Pat, were you one of the ones?
Yeah, I was.
He was. Everybody except Trayvon. Brandon, were you one of the ones?
I mean, I was on the fence.
Oh,
but
man.
because of what's
I
You were not on the fence.
B was on the fence.
I was on the fence. I was on the fence, but because the Lakers are playing tonight, I said, let's just cancel the show.
Yeah, that's what I was going
cancel
to
the
say.
show.
B didn't care. His only reasoning was the Lakers was playing tonight.
That's true. I take that back. You're right. Brandon,
I'm
y'all,
on the fence.
Brandon sent a text message out at 9:40 something that said Trey gonna be on by himself tonight because the Lakers are
Straight up. And you lucky I'm not
All right,
watching it right now. I'm gonna be
Matt.
focused.
Mac, were you one of the ones, sir?
Yep.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Between Mac and Pat, we weren't gonna have a show tonight, okay? It was gonna be me and Sherman. And what just happened? Did you all notice that, or was that just me? All right, and I'll just go ahead and say this. Sherman, were you one?
No.
Everybody, I just need you to know, Pastor Sherman was completely for it. Surprisingly, he was all for it. All right. Sherman sent us a sermon on why this topic was necessary for us to do.
Now you pushing it.
I'm not gonna lie. I didn't listen to any. Oh my
Brandon,
god.
you see us?
Oh.
I just want to put this out there.
Whoa.
Brandon
whoa.
and Aaron, do y'all?
It's one of my
Hey, get that comment off of here.
Hey, block
Fiji.
him.
I just wanted Brandon and Aaron to see it.
Fiji. Come on, man. Your
Block him right
membership,
now.
your membership at the church. Think about it. Think about your membership. I'm just
So
kidding,
Lakers
man.
gonna
I'm
lose.
just kidding. Oh God.
All right,
Hey.
y'all. Let's go back.
I didn't listen to none of y'all voicemails though, man. I didn't get a chance to. I'll go back
Thanks a
and
lot.
listen for
They're
next
gone.
week.
It expired, Brandon. They're gone.
leave.
Oh, they're gone?
They
Oh.
expire in 2
They-
minutes, bro.
That was earlier in the week.
Oh man. Let's go back. Send them again, guys.
Now we're good.
I'm sure it was good too. I'm sure it was good
Hey, I
stuff.
don't even remember the longest excuse I had for why we needed to do it or anything. All right, y'all, for real. Church. So do you believe, although you guys are like, let's not do this topic, or this probably isn't the best topic to do right now, my question to y'all is church hurt a real thing? Yes or no?
I can't say yes or no because I don't.
Or is that not a yes or no question?
What's the
I would
definition of
say-
church hurt?
Good. I would say it's real, but it's overrated.
Is
Real,
Trayvon
but it's
freezing?
overrated.
Real but overrated. Okay.
Why is Trayvon freezing?
I mean, he's stuck.
Yo, look at
the phone.
Look at his eyes.
look at them eyes. Yo,
Man, his internet rebooting or something.
yo, Trey, wake up,
Man,
son.
I told
Wake up.
y'all we
Wake up,
shouldn't have talked about it. Hey, what?
Yo, Trey.
Oh
I
God,
mean, he is stuck.
I mean, so
he's not. Hey, how's this thing keep going when the host is gone? Like, what happened? Anybody know? Okay.
Who's
Like,
supposed to let
he
him
is-
back in?
Okay.
Hey, that boy got that cricket phone going, don't he?
I guess he can come
Hey,
back
look-
in.
So,
He got that boy got
Hey,
that.
boy, got that.
That boy
That
got
boy got that
prepaid
AOL
internet.
dial-up.
Yeah, he got a gift card for his internet.
Oh
Look,
God!
hey, Brandon. That boy got a gift card. He got to go scratch them numbers off to pay for that internet.
Try to find out the password. To the
Yeah.
internet.
He need to go
Got that
find
little
a
dime.
dime.
He'll go and scratch it off with a dime.
That boy got a prepaid internet.
Oh God! Yo, somebody help
Trey.
my boy. Somebody help him.
He better go
Is
sit at
anyone
McDonald's real quick. He need to go right on over to McDonald's and get that Wi-Fi.
So for those of you that are watching right now, and you do things online, you should invest in an Ethernet cord. Do it today. Get one today. 50 foot, whatever you need to go through your whole house. Get your Ethernet cord, and you'll never go out again.
All right. Let me.
I was about to say, Sherman, that's it.
So, the question is church hurt real? Church hurt is real, but it's never discussed. That's what Karina's saying. And I think everybody else from that point was making fun of Trayvon. So, as far as church hurt is concerned, as far as church hurt is concerned, I know last week me and Brandon were going back and forth about it. And I know it's one of those topics as preachers we're just kind of like, yeah, we don't want to talk about, but obviously some people have experienced it. Like what are y'all thoughts concerning church hurt? Is it a cop out?
Well,
Go ahead, Matt.
one of the questions I was asking was, what is the definition of church hurt?
All right.
Because I think that's what's holding me back from coming to a conclusion is what is the definition? I think people see it from different perspectives. So what is the definition of church hurt?
So let's establish that. What's the definition? I want you guys to talk back to us in the comment section. What are y'all definitions of church hurt? We'll talk about our definitions. Pat, what's your definition? I know you ain't gonna have much to say, but
I really don't have. I really don't know what is the definition. I can tell you what I think the characteristics of church hurt is, but I can't tell you. I can't tell you what a defined terminology for church hurt is.
Okay.
My God.
So I'm guessing if we're talking about church hurt, it's going to first start in the church, right? Or you know, being hurt by someone who is affiliated with said church, right?
All right.
And so I guess that would be, you know, the thinking. Did somebody give a definition for us?
Somebody said online, not in the comments, but online, that it occurs when you have been a victim of a total abuse of power in the church.
Okay. I think that's a great
It says it could be anything from sexual assault and molestation to psychological manipulation.
There we go. Okay. Okay. Now I can totally agree with that because I've experienced people that I've covered and actually still covering that have been taken advantage of by other leaders, you know, of a church that they were part of. When I say taking advantage, I'm not talking about, you know, anything light. I'm talking like, you know, sexually and mentally abused. And that's definitely so, you know, for me, church hurt is definitely real. You know what I'm saying? And covering people. And when we talk about church hurt, that's where my mind goes, not to, you know, they're not using me and, you know, I didn't get to sing the solo in the choir, you know, that I feel like those are cop-outs. But there are, when we talk about church hurt, there are literally people who trusted their life and, you know, put their life in the hands of someone who was manipulative or, you know, not ready for the assignment or whatever the case, however we want to put it, but it scarred them. It wounded them. But the reason why I have my opinion about church hurt the way I do is because the same person that was hurt also knew that every leader wasn't like that, because they didn't run away from the church and say, "Oh, I'm never going back to church again," right? And they'll testify to the fact that MMCC Wilson has helped, right? We weren't the only source, but it has helped to restore their faith back into the church at large and believing that, okay, every leader is not like this. So I think some people use the term church hurt as a cop-out to release them from responsibility.
Yeah, I agree.
That's good. Someone said some have experienced legitimate offense, others have experienced hurt egos. I think that goes to what you were saying about, you know, you didn't get to sing your song and then you say you had church hurt. That's a bruised ego more than it is a legitimate, you know, power, you know, being taken advantage of by somebody in power. And so, like you said, church hurt is real. But then there are those ones who will throw it out, just like, as much as we don't like to, people will throw out race for everything, right? A lot of times, even when it doesn't have any play in the situation, people will also throw out, oh, you know, church hurt, this church hurt. And sometimes it doesn't really have any basis in it. You know, you're upset about something, and you kind of just need to learn how to get over it. I also think, though, that church hurt is something that will be, that you're gonna have those clashes, not as necessarily the church hurt definition we have, but some of the definitions that people have. You're gonna have those clashes, just like when we talk about black on black, you know, when they say black on black violence. But that's because we're near each other mostly, right? And if you're near each other, that's where most of the things are gonna happen, right? And so if there is some kind of struggle in church, it just means that you're participating, you're where you need to be. And it just takes, if you're there, those things are going to happen. The disciples had arguments, right? Like it wasn't like, just think about it, they were walking with Jesus and they were arguing about who's going to be the greatest, all those kind of things. And so it's going to naturally happen if you're amongst each other, if you're fellowshipping, if you're working as a community, you're going to have things that rub each other the wrong way. I think we have to not take it to that extra notch and say, I got church hurt, I'm gone. Right.
Right.
So this is the bruises of carrying a cross. This is the struggles, the bleeding of carrying a cross daily, and what that looks like to have to suffer with folk. So I think that for me, that's why church hurt, there's those two things. There's that church hurt that people just throw out, and then there is that actual legitimate church hurt. And I think too many times we talk about the church hurt that people's egos have been bruised.
There you
not
go.
enough about the sexual assault, the pastors taking advantage of people and all those kind of things, or leaders taking advantage of others.
Now,
So-
go ahead, Pat.
Quick question. So can we come to the conclusion that church hurt actually, under its true concept, stems from leadership?
Say that one more time, Pat, because Trey's frustration started over talking.
You got in the car,
I
Reverend?
rebooted. Dude, I rebooted my laptop. I went and unplugged the Wi-Fi, unplugged it back in, the router, plugged it back in. My Mac wants to act stupid. Then I get on my freaking phone here and do that, and that starts to act choppy. You know what? Do the freaking show without me tonight, guys, okay? You don't like me anyway, all right?
Yeah, right.
Forget
You got to be here,
guys.
man.
Trey, you done with your church hurt?
Let me figure this out. That's my church hurt, Pat. I'm hurt tonight.
Okay.
All right, Pat was talking.
So my question was based off the definitions and listening to you all talk. So are we saying, okay, we come to the conclusion that church hurt stems from leadership?
I wouldn't necessarily say that it stems from leadership.
I mean, but
I think
I'm sorry, Sharon, go ahead.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say that it stems from leadership. I think sometimes, obviously leaders are in the spotlight because I think really, and we can all attest to this, that we've been hurt and we've been bit by sheep. We just know how to handle it differently, right? Especially if you're positioned properly. We've all been taught, preach to the sheep, starve the wolves, right? But you have a group. You have some pastors that will express their hurt through their preaching, And so then my question is, at what point does correction start to turn into abuse? Because, look at prior generations, and I'm talking from a natural standpoint. Prior generations used to get whooped with extension cords, remotes, and they called it discipline. But now, if you even think to hit somebody with, discipline your child with something, it's called abuse. So at what point do we begin to define, like even in the spiritual realm, there was a different standard that pastors held members to, that now it's like, oh no, that's control, that's witchcraft, that's abuse. So at what point do we really define, is this correction or is this actually abuse? And then I think that's when we can start to say, okay, once we get over into the abuse realm, that's definitely church hurt. Anything that's correcting you, it's not hurting you, it's actually helping you. And I think we live in a generation where people don't like to be corrected, and they will take correction as judgment. We're not judging you, we're just correcting you. I hope that makes sense.
But that comes from leadership, right?
Yeah, that part. But I'm saying it can go two ways.
So then again, does church hurt stems from leadership?
Not stem, because all right, why would a leader react that way? Except sometimes you have membership doing certain things. right? Sometimes leaders clam up because people coming at their family. Sometimes, leaders clam up because, because of the frustration of the hard-hearted and stiff-necked people. Like Exodus said, they were hard-hearted, stiff-necked. Moses got frustrated and broke stuff and hit stuff because of the people. So I think it can go both ways. Moses' frustration did. Go ahead, Brent.
No, I'm saying there's under leadership as well, right? So I don't think it just has to stem from the top leadership, right? There are people who are under a leader who are leaders in the church that can abuse that power that they have been given, to operate in a certain realm, in a certain ministry or things of that nature in that church. So I think that it doesn't have to stem from the top leadership. It can be from,
Right.
people that are working in leadership roles as well. And so I think that I saw somebody say it, if we're going to, when you think about when is that line, I guess when the leader is trying to correct people, what that line between abuse and correction, somebody said it's the intent of the heart. And I think that's always where it has to line up with word in my heart, right? My heart, because you can use the word to keep people in bondage, right? To abuse your authority. But I also think you have to take, your heart, the word and your heart have to be in there to help correct people.
So when I said leadership, I wasn't just talking about first tier. I'm talking second, third, and fourth tier leadership as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Bishop
So what
Pat.
do you mean? So what do we do about that leadership? The church hurt stemming from leadership. Then, Pat, what is the, what's the next step if leadership is where church hurt? Because if it's stemming from leadership, I can't with you, man. If leadership is where church hurt is stemming from, in one capacity, because we did talk about how leaders get hurt as well, so it stems from the bottom up as well. But should we have thicker skin at the top and just keep moving, or?
I think it's a yes and a no, right? I'm sorry, Brian. I think it's a yes and a no. I think as leaders, we definitely need to have thicker skin, but there are some things that we just can't let slide. You understand? Now, when it comes to leadership decisions, or like I had somebody lead the church because they didn't like the way I ran things. I was cool with that, but then I also had somebody who talked personally about my family. You see what I'm saying? And to me, that was a no. I can handle you talking about how I handle the church things, or you don't agree with certain decisions. That's tough skin all day. But when it comes to my family, or you questioning me as a man, or that's when it's like, nah. Let me go ahead and address this, because this is beyond the corridors of church now. You know what I'm saying? This is beyond the court. So, again, at what point, do we start to shed some light on, hey, there's a dual responsibility for leadership and a dual responsibility for the congregation? Because I think sometimes too, a lot of the hurt that some of the congregants feel comes from another congregant, and then we tend to blame the leader.
Or if not even blaming the leader, a lot of times they just blame the church as a whole.
Yeah,
and people hear that church name and they're ticked off because they
got drama in there.
Yeah. And a lot of people do that, y'all. They'll label that church as a church full of drama, or that church ain't got no love in, or that church this and that, because of one experience with one person in the entire church who has no leadership and hardly attends as well. So yeah, that stuff happens too. Real quick, if I could chime in now, Trent says everybody handles correction differently, and it's on the leader to know the person and deal with them accordingly in church and out of church. If I can comment on that, I think when we look at it's on the he says, and it's on the leader to know the person, deal with them accordingly in church and out of church. I think we put a lot of responsibility on the leader, and the leader should have a lot, but I think there are some things that we put on the leader that actually don't allow the leader to lead. You know what I'm saying? Lead effectively. We're expecting them to do a lot more than what they should do. And what I mean by that is, I think, for example, my position as a secondary leader is to help keep weight off of my primary leader, my senior leader. He shouldn't have to run after sheep every time they get ready to walk out the door. There should be times that my eyes are fixed enough as somebody who's sitting, on that level to see when somebody's hurting and go and deal with that. I think a lot of times we miss that because we expect the pastor to do all of the work, and we should be an aid to our senior pastor, And so that's the point I'm trying to make. I'm not saying that the senior pastor should not care enough to go after people, but I'm saying that there can be secondary leadership, and as Pat has named, third and fourth tier as well, that should be able to handle it, so the pastor's not overwhelmed with that. Because then when the pastors burn out, we get mad because he or she got to stay home because they sick, So yeah. I think if we learn the heart of our leaders, we learn the character of our leaders, and we look to duplicate that, then our pastors will be in the congregation through us to be able to do what needs to be done. My God. Yeah. Let's look what some of the people are saying. The leader should
said exactly what Nicole said. Y'all said the same thing at the same time. That's why I quickened.
Oh, members need to know the leader's heart too. Absolutely. And Tara says absolutely. Karina says, I think another reason it's important to discuss church hurt is because, like any hurt, it can leave scars or trauma of sorts. We need to be able to identify that so we can properly love them back into the fellowship. Okay. Can I ask y'all a question? Nope, I won't say that. All right. Pastor Max says, in doing so, we reduce our leaders and it stunts the growth of the church. What do y'all think about that comment? Bishop, and yeah.
I will 90% agree with that. Because I and the reason I say 90 and not 100 is because definitely there needs to be, responsibility on secondary leaders and not having, the pastor run after everything, while also my 10% in disagreeing, which is an amazing comment. So I don't want Bishop. Is it Bishop Blue? I don't know him. You said it.
Yeah, I mistakenly said Bishop, but he's Pastor Blue.
Oh, Pastor Blue. Yeah, I don't want to think I'm trying to rip his comment to shreds, but I totally agree. But my thing is, it happened to me where, because I didn't stay connected, a lot of stuff got by me because I was like, yo, you handle it. I put you in position, and so I had to learn the balance of, okay, letting them handle it while still being made aware of what's going on, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I definitely totally agree with that. I agree with that comment, but that was just my little.
All right. The church members on a whole have to be willing to support each other and the leaders. All right. So I don't know if y'all got to this question, brothers. Did y'all talk about the difference yet? Y'all know I was in and out. Did y'all already talk about the difference?
Yeah, we did.
Okay. All right. Do you feel like the church is turning a deaf ear to hurt the church? Did y'all deal with that?
No.
All right. So do you feel like the church is turning? This is for our listeners, our viewers as well. Do you feel like the church is turning a deaf ear to hurt in the church? Let me go share.
I will say to some hurt, to some, not to all.
So you differentiated the hurt in the church?
No, I'm saying there are different types of. No, there are churches that will overlook sexual abuse, right? They don't want to have to deal with it, right? Or deal with different things that people gotten hurt with. But they'll deal with hurt in a choir, right? When we have these church hurt conversations, majority of the time, what are we talking about? Oh, the choir, you got mad with the choir, you left the church, all kinds of stuff like that. But we don't usually talk about the scars of being, sexual abuse that's gone on in some of our churches. And so I think that that's something that is, they turned a deaf ear to. But I wouldn't say all church hurt, because we have so many conversations about church hurt, at this point, that it's almost redundant if we're not talking about what is actually real church hurt. And that's what we were talking about earlier.
That makes sense. I get what you're saying. All right, any other brothers? Do you feel like church is turning a deaf ear to hurting the church? Or would you say, and this is based off what Brandon just said, or do you feel like it's not that we're turning a deaf ear to it, it's that we're trying to heal some of the hurt, and we're sick of people talking about the hurt more than the healing?
Well, church hurt is so broad and so open to where you really can't deal with it all.
You aggravate me. Go ahead.
So I wouldn't dare say the church has turned a deaf ear to it. If you got mad at the church because they gave you only 2 pieces of chicken at Family and Friends Day, and now you got a problem with that, what's the point of dealing with that when you got a whole nother issue that's something bigger and greater? So I think leaders they pretty much pick and choose. Sherman, I almost said something to you.
I was hoping you were going to get this conversation, Sherman.
No, look, Pat is on it, but he's giving me Bishop vibes tonight. That's why I'm laughing, because he's sitting like somebody wants to talk to him about church hurt in his office.
And he's sick of it.
He's been waiting for them. It's like he's been waiting for them. Like, yeah, go ahead, say what you got to say, because I'm sorry. Go ahead, Pat.
I'm good. No, I'm done. That's all I say.
Okay, guys. Nobody else? Nobody else? All right. Let's see what some of these comments are saying. Raven says, I would say not the church as a whole turns a blind eye, but there are some churches who do. We cannot overlook abuse of any kind of the church, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, none. I think that was based off of what Brandon was saying, which is in the agreeing. Erica says some churches cover up stuff. Caroline, blessings from New Zealand. Y'all say hey in New Zealand. Say it.
Blessings from New Zealand.
Hello.
Can y'all speak New Zealand?
There we go.
That's it, Sherman. Sherman got the real Holy Ghost. He can speak in different languages. All right.
I am acting like y'all have some common sense.
All right. It's here we go. Caroline will be praying for you and your family. Ashley says there are some hurt that leadership won't deal with because they aren't equipped to. Ooh, that's good. Can y'all want to hit on that?
Let me chime in on that.
Come on, Ashley.
That is key, because that's where a lot of pastors stress their stuff out, because they feel like they got to deal with every situation that comes to them. Personally, I'm not that pastor. Some things I'm gonna ask you 1 or 2 questions. Have you taken your medicine, or do you have a therapist? No, because let's be honest, there are people that have mental problems and they mask it under spirituality. No, if you're on medication, have you taken your medication?
No, I agree. But I think it's just
go see a therapist.
Wow.
So I think pastors need to know where they are equipped to handle certain things. If you can't handle it, leave it. Send them somewhere where they can get the help. Even if it's another pastor, send them somewhere. So we got to be confident in what we can handle.
You know what, Pat?
So when I was in school,
go ahead, Brandon. Sorry.
When I was in school, we had to have a booklet of places to send people when they come to us with different problems. And one of those people in there is, therapists, because a lot of pastors don't have, degrees in that field. We can give spiritual advice, we can give you biblical advice, but then there comes a time where we have to say, all right, this is beyond, my pay grade, and I have to send you to somebody else that can help out and can lead you with other tools that I might not have, right? And so therapists have tools that I don't have as a pastor, and we should work in tandem together to help holistically heal people from the trauma that they've suffered in the church. And I think that sometimes we want to heal people, tell them, we want to get them out spiritually. But there's some other tools that God has placed on this earth and people that he's placed in the right position to help folks that we need to point them in the right direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with therapy.
I totally agree with Brandon and Patrick, that, pastors, especially African-American pastors, we've kind of been in times past held to everything. We've been people's social workers, counselors, therapists. We've been so much to people that, at this particular point, we have to understand, where our strengths lie, and I'm just thinking about, the police, the paramedics, and the fire department. They all specialize in a certain field, even though they may have limited knowledge in other fields. Like a police officer can perform CPR and stuff, but there are just some things that he can't do that a paramedic has to do. And as a pastor, yeah, we can provide limited counseling, but there are some things and some corridors that we're not going to be able to go beyond. And I don't think that it makes us less than a pastor to, to suggest a therapist or turn it over to a therapist. I think the sign of a great leader is surrounding themselves, when things that they're not able to do, surrounding themselves with people who can do what they're not able to do. And so I think that therapy and the right therapist is amazing. That's why we need more Holy Ghost filled people to not run to the pulpit, right? We need more Holy Ghost filled people who study to become counselors and therapists and doctors and lawyers and things like that, because those are ministries as well. I don't think they're as focused on, but they're definitely ministries. So that's definitely my 2 cents on it. I'm in agreement with Pat and Brand.
So can we agree right now, brothers, to say that it's okay to go get a college degree and seek out a profession outside of the pastorate? Because a lot of people run to be pastors because they want to fix people's lives, and they are absolutely not in the right profession, if I can say that, to fix lives. That's not, we're not here to fix lives. That's not even our job. That's the job of Holy Spirit to deal with the person on that level, as far as, fixing them or, so would you guys agree that it's okay to go and get a degree? It's okay to go to school and further your education so that you can have something to add to the ministry once you step into that position.
You should.
Hey, Mac, Aaron Jr., I think you had set something up where you had some counselors or something like that on staff, or were looking into it at one time.
Yeah, we actually had some psychologists come in on a Wednesday night, and so that our people had a way to connect with different therapists for different areas of life. And it was very resourceful because as I told our people, I don't have all the answers, and there's no way that I'm going to try to answer every question that you bring to me or every situation that you bring to me. So we want to connect you with the right people who can take you through the process that you need to go through.
That's good. What our pastor's done, go ahead, Pat.
I think every church should have a therapist on staff.
Yeah.
I mean, outsource. Therapist, not so much.
Hey, I was about to
Not
say
so much.
that. Now listen,
Not
the way
so much somebody-
These pastors can't even afford. Can't even. Can I say something real quick, man?
Best
But
we
nobody
can
is
do
a part
right
of your
now
church.
is Google and
But this is what I tell people: most of your insurance will pay for it
yeah.
if we really, see that. And I think that's something
If they
the church
signed
has
up for
to think more
Obamacare.
to. Huh?
If they
So-
signed up for Obamacare.
Oh, I get
Sure,
it.
I'm not getting the
So I wanted to say something to what Sherman said earlier about how we've been, everything to everybody. And part of that happened because pastors in some areas were, the only ones that were educated, or, the smartest ones in that room.
Yeah.
And there's been a transition now, right?
Right.
And we have to be willing to give up some of that, in my church, I have lawyers, I have people who are, nurses and different things that are smarter than I am. And I'm glad that I have people in there that are smarter than me, that can, help our church going forward. And I think that's one of the things we just have to be willing to relinquish some of that we, held on to dear. I'm all things for all people. That's what God called me to be. You have people in your church that want to help you grow and become, a great church. And to be honest with you, and if I'm lying, y'all watch and tell me. There's people who are waiting to be asked. They literally are honored when we ask for help. When we ask them to take part in a ministry or take part, they've literally just been waiting for somebody to have faith in them to do something that they may not have been doing. So I think we just have to be willing to relinquish some things and not have to be the smartest one in the room and be okay with it.
Yeah,
Brandon,
to help
when
people.
You say that makes me. I really want to say this: that a lot of us have to understand that as leaders, it's our job to develop leaders, to build up leaders, to grow other leaders, and a lot of us want to keep our spot, and we protect our spot to the point that we don't groom other leaders up. We don't groom other people. And as Brandon was just talking about, those who have professions. Even though they have a profession outside of the church, if they're in the ministry, they want to work. There are many of them that do want to work, as he said. And you've got to find that place as a leader on where they work well at. Where are they gifted, anointed, and what is their profession? Where does all that tie in to benefit the ministry? I know within just our young adult ministry, I have 3 doctors, medical doctors that sit in our young adult ministry. So when it's time for prayer, I cultivate that area of ministry, because if there's a need for healing in a certain area, they know exactly where to go as far as, knowing what the body responds to and all of that. So talk to God about those exact areas that I can't name. I don't know what bone connect to the hip bone and all of that, this bone,
You should learn that in elementary.
Say that again.
Hold on. You got a daycare and you don't know how to teach?
What happened? What happened?
I took them out. I got the
a
power.
daycare. You got a daycare and you can't.
What's that noise?
What's that popping noise?
It's Brandon. Brandon's doing that thing. He's doing that. What is that?
What just happened?
It's not me, guys. It's Brandon. I muted him. It's Brandon. All right. So listen. So I'm just saying, we've got to, as leaders, look at those different ways to employ those people within the ministry. Here's a question Ashley has, and I want to do this, and then we've got to move on to the next segment, guys. It's already 11:20. So how do we draw the line between those who really need it? Okay, wait. What's that?
Oh boy, come on.
Anybody?
Brand, is that you? Mute your mic, Brand. Yeah, I think it's coming from Brand.
Okay. Ashley says, so how do we draw the line between those who sincerely need therapy and those who sincerely need deliverance? You got another. Go ahead.
I like that question. And oftentimes we have to expand the parameters of our thinking when it comes to deliverance. I think therapy can be a form of deliverance. And I also think that therapy can walk hand in hand with deliverance. And I think therapy can help us to stay out. So there's the type of deliverance that we're used to of coming into church, being on the altar, crying out, and getting free, right? But I do think that once we get free from the altar, that's where discipleship comes into play, and I think that's a form of therapy, right? Or therapy in and of itself is, why did you get into that place? How did you get there? And what are we going to do to keep you from getting back to that place again? And I think that it's important because oftentimes, as pastors, we do our job on the altar, or we, preach a strong, inspiring message to get people convicted and repent. But that therapy piece is super important to understand. If you were molested or raped at an early age, maybe you're acting out some proclivities in your adult life because of what happened in your younger life. And 30 minutes of preaching, an hour of preaching is not going to unravel those issues. However, therapy will, and it will help you to understand your process of deliverance. Deliverance is a process. It's also a culmination in a series of decisions. Deliverance is just not a one-time event where, again, you shout, you cry, and people that have never seen you cry are moved because, ooh, that never happened. That's a part of it, right? That's the breaking. But I believe that the real deliverance is that whole process, and therapy can be wrapped up in that. I don't know if that makes sense, but and all therapy is not sitting on a couch and going to an office, right? I went to a retreat, and that retreat, when I tell you it set me free, I went to a retreat and it was some people that didn't look like me, and I was set free. I was set free. I was focused. And it wasn't on the couch. It was a retreat. And it opened my eyes to something. So, expand your horizons to therapy. And a lot of you will realize that it's definitely more to it than what we think.
Okay. I like that answer. You guys,
Yeah,
go ahead, Pat.
I think the church, to echo what Bishop Blandon so wonderfully said, I think the church has to redress what deliverance looked like. We put clothes on deliverance and made it look one way, and now when it don't look like somebody at the altar with somebody beating you in the back, making you cry Jesus, and you purging, then you ain't getting delivered. So we got to put deliverance in the right content, and understand that deliverance, Trey, you tried it. You tried it.
I kept my mouth shut this time, Pat. I did. I had to reset my head.
I had to catch myself, because I almost say you tried to help, but I had to catch myself. But
we don't have bleepers, guys. We can't censor stuff here. Just say what's that?
They're in our brother's conversation. So we have to.
Right. This is our conversation, y'all. This is how we talk to each other. Go ahead, bro.
So at least I didn't say what I was thinking. But we have to really understand, like Sherman was saying, deliverance looks different in many forms. The Pentecostal church have their expression of what deliverance looked like. Another culture of people, that deliverance for them look totally different. So we got to stop. And like you said, it is a process, and we just got to be able to walk people through the process. I think that's the job of the pastor, is just to walk alongside with the people in the process.
Yeah. That's good, man. And I think we've got to train up our people to walk with one another throughout the process. That's going to be the most important piece, because building that fellowship, that camaraderie amongst one another is going to help people to not only be delivered, but continue to walk in their deliverance. You know what I mean? I think that's important. All right, guys. So listen, we've got to move on. This has been really good conversation. And I'm glad that you guys are enjoying it. I need you guys to hit that share button right now, because now we're getting ready to get into our next well, before we get into this next segment, one of the brothers, I'm going to do this real quick. I'm going to try to get this out of the way. One of the brothers says his wife tried to kill him this week, y'all. One of the brothers said his wife tried to kill him this week. Can y'all tell us which brother that was? Hurry up in the comment section. We've only got a few moments for this one. We're going to shift real quick. We don't have any fancy music or anything for y'all, but to go to the next segment. But Sherman, you want to sing a song for us while we prepare for the next segment? You want to give us a little something? Can you sing in Arabic for us real quick? No? Okay.
First of all,
Sherman, hold on. My hand is on this remove from the stream button. Just know it.
No, Trey.
Please
I'm
don't do that. Last time it
you-
messed up my connection.
No, hold on. I'm gonna say this. You remove me, and I will go Facebook Live on my page for the next 3 days talking about your hair. I will make it my life mission.
We're moving on. We are moving on. Jerk. All right, guys, here we go. Raven says it was Nikki. Tara says it was Pastor Brandon's wife, Nikki. Hades says it was Sherman.
It's Sherman.
Michael says it was Pat's wife. It's not the obvious one. I don't know what that means. Nicole said, Raven says it was Nicole. Tara said it was Brandon. Oh, well, clearly. Raven says, oh, she's laughing. Oh, people are now laughing at me.
Raven said,
Here we go, guys.
So nobody
Drum
thought
roll,
it was my
please.
wife, huh?
Who was it? Whose
Y'all
wife
think my wife be over here killing people, huh? That's all right.
My wife tried to kill me. So
Brandon,
what'd you say, man?
Brandon, tell us about how your wife tried to kill you, man. Hold on. There we go. Talk to us, Brandon. How'd your wife try to kill you?
Man, take me off this. Hey, man. Bro, this stuff, man. Fix this screen, man. What's wrong with this dude? Somebody get your boy. If you don't fix this screen, man.
How'd your wife try to kill you?
Man, look. Man, my wife trying to do this juice thing. I try to be a supportive husband and start off juicing with her because she want to do this 14-day reset. Well, I already quit because the first day that she was juicing, she decided, knowing that I'm allergic to apples, she put apples in the juice she gave me. I drank that green juice, and for a minute, I started feeling everything tingle in my mouth. All of a sudden, my lip was falling on my face. So I'm convinced I'm not drinking juice with my wife no more, and I don't have her bring me no juice or nothing because I'm scared. we only been back here for a few days. She already tried to take me out. So I'm done.
Right.
That's how I'm sticking to it.
First of all,
It's a 2-point game at the top of the fourth.
this is just a little gossip. Y'all remember the show Sweetie Pies?
Oh my gosh. Yes.
The nephew, the son,
Sweetie pie.
he's in jail for conspiracy to kill his nephew.
Mm-hmm.
Child.
What?
Brandon, was this your face after Nicole gave you that?
What?
Look at Brandon.
Close enough.
Nicole,
Close
how
enough,
dare
man. I
you?
thought I was going out of here, man. She tried to
Well-
send me to Jesus quick.
Well, everybody.
Juice me to the Lord.
you guys, y'all know Nicole says that Brandon keeps on what you call it?
Exaggerating.
Yeah. So it's not that I couldn't read it. I just couldn't get it out. Shut up.
I'm not exaggerating.
And
I should have took a photo of myself.
We have a special guest on tonight, everybody, who wants to share their side of the story. I'm lying. It was a joke. You guys were supposed to laugh. It didn't go over well. So Nicole is still in the She said she's gonna.
I knew she won't coming on here.
So evidently
she won't coming on here.
Here's what she says.
She's watching, but she didn't. Hey, I'm allergic to apples, and my wife knew it, and she put it in the juice anyway. If that ain't, if that ain't trying to take me out, I don't know what is. 2-point game, the top of the fourth. Thanks. Hey, so we don't got to do One's Got to Go tonight. We're so glad y'all stayed on here this long and watched with us. You know what? One do gotta go.
No.
What's next, Trayvon? What's next?
All right, y'all. So the next thing we have tonight is the Ask the Brothers segment. Oh man.
All right.
Let's do One's Gotta Go so we can close out with the Ask the Brothers segment. That cool?
No.
Why not?
No.
Because we always
You get one or the other.
All right, Ask the Brothers segment. It's up now. This is the segment, everybody, where we allow you guys to send in questions to the brothers throughout the week. And what we'll do is we'll take an opportunity to answer those questions. We're not going to spend much time on it. However, we will be able to answer your questions that you send in, all right? Here's the question for us tonight. Question is, who makes the decision on
Will I believe?
Who should make the decision on what the salaries will be for a pastor? That's the first question we have for tonight, guys.
I think that there's no one set answer for that. I think that varies on each church.
Okay. Why would that vary? Just so that we can get some clarity to it.
Because there's no one set rule that says so and so has to set the salary.
Mm-hmm.
In some churches, the bishop set. In some organizations, the bishop sets the salary for the pastor. It varies.
Some churches
so
have a
there's
board of directors.
Have a board,
right. Some churches, the office manager and the pastor sit down and based off the budget come to a common agreement.
Yeah.
So there's no right or wrong. Now, if they are a pastor that established their own church, their own work, then they can say how they want it done.
Lady Ashley's McNair says his wife.
I agree with that.
So,
all right, real quick. Here's another question.
It's going to be different.
Brandon was talking.
Yeah. No, it's good.
Right,
I mean, good gracious.
And as soon as
it's going to be different. Excuse me. It's going to be different. You keep talking. I can't. It's going to be different because each church has different bylaws, and that's why it happens like that. So because each church has different bylaws, it's always going to be different in different areas.
Right.
Now, I would say no pastor salary should be the salary that breaks the church.
Okay.
30% of your total, 35-ish of your total is a good number to sit at.
All right. Let me ask us. Here's another
For
question.
those of you that are trying to figure it out.
Okay, so let me put this out here real quick because I didn't say this. I normally get a chance to say this. If you do have a question for this segment, you have to send that question in during the week, and then we'll ask that question during that show. So if you have a question,
just ask the question, bro.
Answer the question. No, because I have.
Correct. They send the question. We gonna debate about the question, and then we'll come back and if we gonna reveal the.
Just say, so if you have a question, send the question in. but send it into our inbox, and then we'll be able to answer questions. We will not be able to answer tonight. All right. So the other question says, when you first start a church, who should be the biggest benefactor?
I don't think anybody should be the biggest benefactor. When you first start a church, there are one or two ways you can do it. I mean, you can save and save and save, and then by the time you start your church, you've established a timeline and when people would get salaries and things like that. But I think the focus of starting a church is making sure the church is stable.
And I think that it also varies with culturally who's starting the church,
right?
Because different cultures, of course, our culture has a mentality of start and build, and then there's our other brothers and sisters, they build then start.
There you go.
I think it depends on the culture.
Okay. All right. So another question that came in, Aflan said this. My pastor nor anyone from my church has checked on me not once since this pandemic. I've lost a family member. I was in an accident and almost lost my life. I lost my best friend, and now I feel like I've lost my church family. By the way, I'm on the worship team.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question.
Sorry, I forgot the question. They want to know, should they leave the church?
So here's the thing. Does your pastor know that you lost a family member? Does your pastor know that you were in an accident? How are they magically supposed to know this?
That was my question.
Yeah, that happens. That does happen a lot. Yeah. Because people will be like, "Oh, I was in the hospital," and they never called their care pastor or anything so that a leader would know. So
yeah,
sometimes it's not that we don't want to support you.
You have a pastor who, let's just say, is trying to oversee 100 people. You're one person. You can go to him and say something.
Yeah.
Instead of waiting for him to get around to you.
So do y'all feel like throughout this pandemic, do you feel like the pastor should have at least reached out to these people in this church at least once?
Collectively.
Okay.
What pastor anywhere has time to reach out individually to his members?
Yeah.
I mean, unless you honestly have a small church where you have 20, 25 members, but what pastor can actually reach out to all of his members individually? So I think there should be some type of measure set in place, whether you got a mass text messaging system, a Facebook page where you can talk to your members, privately. There has to be something put in place, but I don't think anybody should be wanting one-on-one contact unless you're reaching out to your pastor yourself.
Yeah. Okay.
And I totally agree with that.
Here's my thoughts though. Do y'all think that is there any chance that a worship team leader, somebody who's normally on the primary team, I'll just say that, on the frontline team, if you will, is by any chance is there a way that they're in the hospital or in a tragic accident or lost 2 or 3 close family members, or however that the
well,
didn't even notice, or no one from the church noticed?
I'm gonna say this, and my answer might be slightly different, and that's if you're on a worship team, you're usually a tad bit closer to the pastor, and it's not always the case. Oftentimes, I'll say this, oftentimes there is a disconnect before the pandemic, and the pandemic just exposes it. And my thing is, you can be close in proximity and still not connected in the heart.
Mm-hmm.
And so if that's the case, then of course, a lot of things would get past the pastor because you're just there to do your job. So you'll sing and leave. And then when you get in the bind or when something happens, then it's like, hey, well, why won't my pastor there? Well, you weren't connected in heart and in spirit.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think that will probably be a deeper rooted issue, because if all that stuff is going on in your life and don't nobody know, and then to me, the way my church operates, that even if the person don't tell me, especially my worship team, and they tell somebody on the worship team, somebody on the worship team is going to say, "Hey, pastor, this is going on."
Right.
Sean, that's I get it. 'Cause my thought was, when I saw that question, my thought was this: how with all this social media going on, did these many events happen in this one person's life who's on this close, in this close proximity to the senior leadership? And
No, that's possible, because like stuff happened on social media and I have no idea, because especially when I preach, I don't want to know what's going on social media, because I don't want to be, you know what I'm saying, accused of preaching something that you didn't post a status about. So I pay attention to nothing my members do.
Mhm.
Right. So it's possible for them to miss on social media. But my thing is, once you start to sing on stuff like the worship team, like you kind of in the view of the pastor a little more. You know what I'm saying? I know everybody on my worship team, and again, there was stuff that some of my worship team was going through, and they didn't tell me, but I found out about it. You know, stuff that they were dealing with. Now, you know, I just think that question is a more deeper rooted question.
So
And we tend to place, we're creatures of blame. We'll tend to, once we can't figure something out, we're going to try to figure out who we can blame.
yeah.
So my question is, what is the whole culture of that house? Because we can, we all of us are pastors, so we can talk at it from our perspective, which is a more, I ain't gonna say smaller, but it could be a different situation, wherein if they are a member of like Relentless or Mike Todd's church or somewhere like that, their praise team is on a rotating schedule, so it's not the same people every single Sunday. So, and a lot of times, a lot of pastors don't come out until it's time for them to preach. So some pastors are not in this sanctuary for praise and worship. So my question then would be, what is your house like? Now, if you're at a church where it's just 50 of y'all, and that's totally different. But at the same time, are you communicating all these things are happening in your life? Because your pastor cannot pastor where they're not invited. And some pastors are like this. They will be aware of the situation. They will pray for you, but if you don't open that door for them, they're not going to bombard it, and they're not going to come kick it in and just show up at the hospital. Oh, I heard you was at the hospital. I know I'm not. If you give me the access, then I will walk through the door. But I'm not somewhere sitting at home praying, and the Lord said, "Oh, so and so's in the hospital at Cape Fear Valley, room 212," and I'm just going to show up out of nowhere.
The Lord don't talk to you like that, Pat?
Hey.
If you do, I ain't heard it.
Matt! What's up, Matt?
It's comical, but put Lady B's comment up.
Okay.
I agree with that. I just read that. I totally agree with that.
If you type this question to a podcast, could you have typed a letter, email to the pastor? Wow.
Or send a text.
See, some people are looking for
Uh-oh.
a way
Come on.
A.B. McNabb Sr.
leadership.
You see it?
Came out.
Paul
Came out.
Some people are looking for a way to discredit. They're waiting. They're on purpose not saying anything just to see if it, hoping it doesn't get back to the pastor, so that later on they can say nobody contacted them, nobody got over
absolutely. Mm-hmm.
They didn't want to be contacted.
I know we moved off the subject, but that goes back to church hurt. That a lot of things that people cry church hurt is self-inflicted wounds. So,
or their failed unspoken expectations.
Yeah, there you go.
For example, I honestly think that question if it wasn't addressed with the pastor, shouldn't have been addressed with us.
Woo!
I
Come
totally agree.
on.
Because now you're looking for us to say, go ahead and leave your church. You're looking for a way out when the way to get to the bottom of the situation is to go sit with the pastor.
Totally agree.
What if they're not looking for
I
it now?
want. Let me say this.
Right.
Also,
They didn't leave.
let me say
The
this
advice will come
as a
from the
pastor.
pastor.
Okay.
Let me say this as a pastor to all parishioners. I'm sorry. During this season, please be graceful to your pastor, because not only is your pastor trying to deal with his personal life, he's still trying to recreate ministry in the midst of this. He's still trying to maintain a budget in the midst of this. He's still trying to figure out when they're going to open the church back in the midst of this. So be grace, give your pastor as much grace as possible. They may not be able to call you. And a lot of times that's the problem. We think we're on a buddy-buddy system with our pastors. Sorry, you're not. Just be graceful. You know, again, you communicate it. If you let somebody in your church know and they drop the ball, that's totally different. But again, I've been telling people all the time, this is not the season to hop up and leave no church.
This ain't it, bro.
I think people are overlooking the stress that pastors are under right now. You know, pastors are not only trying to run a church virtually, but they're trying to make their church more attractive so that at the end of this pandemic, you actually come back to church and they have a way to continue ministry or feed their family, or it's a lot of things that pastors are dealing with during this time. And you upset because you felt like you were overlooked when nobody knew you were overlooked is not one of those situations that your pastor needs to be dealing with right now.
Hey guys, I want to read a few of these comments because they're pretty good. Ruth says, because at this point, the pastor could be battling with COVID, death in the family, et cetera, et cetera. Everything isn't done on purpose. Some things literally just slip away. Pastors and anyone in ministry are having to work super hard and adapt to major changes. I say give it a little more time. Reach out if possible to your pastor. So I think that's good advice for that viewer tonight as well. And then Nicole says that's good, Pat. Okay, that's good, Pat. Ruth says the same thing. She says some pastors in bigger churches only know the main worship leaders. All right, we're all giving Lady B her props tonight. If you are looking for a way out during the pandemic, you were planning your exit strategy before. We have a lot on our plates. Yeah, talking to each other. That's good. She said, take all things into account. Maybe they were busy, but when there's a pattern of dishonor or disregard, then you can side out your membership. Watch.
Hey, you
and pray before you assume. Go ahead, Sherman.
Yeah, because I was going to say that we have this horrible tendency to take singular events that happen, you know, especially like for example, we will be at a church for this many years and then one bad thing happens that we can't get over and say and just throw away all the years we were there. You understand what I'm saying? Like, again, this is a time where nobody has ever seen. I mean, you got people like Jake's openly admitting that it's weird. I'm trying to navigate it. I've never seen it. Like, so like, like we're all in this place where it's weird. You understand what I'm saying? And what kills me is we will have people who have never sat in the driver's seat doing Facebook Lives and posing questions and having conversations on what the pastor should be doing at a time that even pastors have never seen.
Well, Sherman, that could take me to the next topic is all of the prophets that we have. I'm
gonna be quiet. I'm done.
Okay, well, I'll do the same thing.
But let me say this. Let me say that, and I think this is the point where the church has to get back to, and the church has to deal with this. We got to stop leaving churches because of we and our feelings.
Because
that's something we got to stop, because we're in our feelings, because something didn't go my way. What happened to the church? What happened to when we leave church because God has given me another assignment and I got to move on somewhere else? not because the pastor didn't come visit me, not because this didn't go out my way. We're worse than a child in the playfield.
All right. Okay, guys. Oh wait, hold on. We should do all we can to help Pastor lift them up, lift the load. All right. Alicia said, "Can we go to One's Got to Go so she can go to bed?" Absolutely. All right.
That was all the questions?
That was all the questions for tonight. Yes, sir. We only had 3.
Hey man, I'm not going.
I love you,
If the
Kareem.
Lakers lose, I'm gonna think it's because we're on this podcast. The game.
All right, One's Got to Go. Time for the One's Got to Go segment. Here we go.
Yes, because I got 10 minutes before I go.
One's Got to Go, y'all.
I can't see.
All of them.
Oh,
All of them.
pound cake.
Oh, snap.
Banana pudding. Banana
You say
pudding. Banana pudding.
I said pound cake.
Banana pudding.
Out of all, by
What
Peach
kind of
Cobbler,
pound
anybody
cake?
doesn't do well with making it.
Is it lemon pound cake or regular?
That does make a difference. But pound cake is good all by itself.
No, it's not.
Pound
Right.
cake is not good. It's dry.
You all
It's
eat
very
y'all eat that. Look at that banana pudding. Look at
What's
that
wrong?
banana. First of all, pound cake is not dry. I don't know what pound cake y'all be eating, but
Right,
pound
right.
cake is not dry. Matter of fact,
Pound cake is very
pound cake
dry,
has
bro.
butter. You can have butter, but boy, y'all eating the wrong pound cake. I pray for your
Pound
soul.
cake tastes like
Banana
desert
pudding.
dirt. Pound cake
What,
is just as good
Sherman?
as desert dirt, bro.
Pound cake is what the
I-
devil tried
so-
to get Jesus to turn the stones into.
What?
I see that you all have had a hard life. Y'all don't eat pound cake.
Anyway, I don't
God
eat
help
cobbler,
you.
so that can
Banana pudding. Look at that banana pudding.
What's wrong with it? It looks great.
Look at that banana pudding. It just looks nasty. It looks nasty. What? There's no consistency. There's nothing to it.
peach cobbler can go.
It's just disgusting. Banana
Nah,
pudding
pound
is
cake,
terrible.
bro.
I love how Brandon talks about the consistency of the darn thing. That's how you know
I
Brandon.
love
All right,
how Brandon dissects every piece of food he talks about.
Oh
Right.
my god. Oh my god. Brandon.
All right, here we go, guys.
What? What?
Nothing.
No. I need.
I'm
to know
mad. I'm
because
on
not
the
watching.
right, man. That's what I think. That this reason why things are going wrong. I think that's the reason why things are going wrong right now. I can't even watch.
Are we grabbing or are we sending away?
Oh, what?
Oh, which cornbread combo you grabbing?
Yeah.
Neither.
That's a hard one
Chili
for
and
me.
cornbread?
Um,
Yeah, 'cause I don't eat the rest of it.
chili.
So, yeah, I do the chili.
Beans, beans
Well-
and cornbread. Beans and cornbread gotta go.
It says
Beans
which
and-
cornbread combo you grabbing.
Oh,
Cornbread goes by itself. I don't want
hey Trayvon, stop doing this.
Stop doing what?
Which one has to go, not which one we grabbing. Got me over here looking stupid. I'm blaming you.
That's
Hey,
right.
hey,
None.
Sherman. Sherman,
Yes.
listen. This is the problem. We're running out of them. So I gotta be creative so that we don't lose a segment. And it gets worse from here. Hey, Sherman, it gets worse from here. Okay, here you go.
Well, don't do them all tonight.
Had the look? Which one had the most mouth?
The most mouth.
Shirley.
It had to be
Definitely
Rochelle.
not Willone.
Shirley or D?
No.
Yeah.
Rochelle had the mouth.
First of all, Rochelle and Pam is the same.
They're the same person.
I don't think Rochelle. That's Everybody Hates Chris, right?
Yeah.
She
Yeah,
didn't have a
a
lot
lot
of mouth. She was just a firm mom.
No, she talked
was
junk to
smart
people
mouth.
because her husband,
Yeah, D was smart mouth.
because her husband had 2 jobs.
Between
He
D
was,
and
he was
Shirley.
very smart mouth, and Esther and Pam was kind of the same.
D, I'm telling you, D and Shirley. Shirley was smart too.
D had a smart mouth. But I don't
And
know.
we lost.
Oh, what the what?
All right, guys,
Oh,
that's it.
because I'm on this show.
Oh, now you want to end the show.
Because I'm on this show.
Because I already know what this is going to be.
Doing one gotta go. We could have saved that for a whole, saved it for next week's whole show.
Alicia said she take her answer back. It was D.
Told you.
Manny wants to rub it in y'all eye tonight, in y'all face tonight.
Come on, man.
Just,
Listen,
bro, what?
man,
All right,
listen.
I'm hollering.
Dame Dollar got an anointing on him right now. I'm scared for my Lakers.
Nah, the Lakers gonna come out. They're gonna be straight.
All right, y'all. So those of you who know the brothers, you've been following us for some time. You know that Brandon McLaughlin is a diehard Lakers fan. All right. Aaron is a fan as well. Sherman, where do you stand?
He's a Laker fan.
I'm a Laker fan, bro. I just
Okay.
don't get on.
I
social media.
wasn't being funny that time. Yeah. All right. Don't worry about me, guys. I don't play the sport. All right.
Oh, we know you don't. Mr. Glass is at the baseline.
What'd you say, Sherman? So,
No, that's fine. Because I got 3 days this week to go live about you. I told you if you did it.
no live form against me. Shall fly. All right, y'all. For real, y'all. Nicole, I mean not Nicole, but Alicia said my man left the show. She said, Nikki, hug him. Brandon, you okay, man? Oh, he's gone, y'all. Brandon's gone for the night. All right, y'all, we're out. Thank y'all for tuning into the Brothers Podcast Live. We've enjoyed you guys. Hope you guys have enjoyed us. Hopefully next week you guys will be with us again. You'll be able to tell somebody that you enjoyed the Brothers Podcast. And don't forget to send in your questions to our inbox. If you have any questions for the Ask the Brothers segment, I can't recall her name right now, guys. I'm sorry. But Miss K, was it Karina? Miss Karina, the questions that you had earlier, we would love to answer those. If you could, please rephrase them. Resubmit those questions into the inbox for us, okay? And so share next week. Like the page if you haven't. And we love you guys, all right? Thank you, Ruth.
Wait.
Pete.
Wait. I just want to ask everyone serious prayer request that we pray that on next week, Trayvon.
I knew it was. I knew he was going to do it. I knew he was going to do that.
Go live now.
Now he's really gonna go live. He's
Go
really
ahead,
gonna go live.
Go ahead, that what?
He's really gonna go live now. That's your fault.
He'll probably make a post tonight. We know.
Don't worry about it.
It's too late at night.
When you do it, Sherman, tag me.
I'm gonna tag you, Pat. I'm gonna tag all of us. Matter of fact, I might do it from the Brothers Podcast.
Sherman, I wish you would do something foolish like that. Don't do that, Sherman. Because then Ashley's gonna have Ashley will have my back, Nicole will have my back, and they will ask their husbands to contact you. That's okay. They ain't gonna do it. It's okay. They're gonna ask their husband to contact you. That's taking that, but we already know the end result of that. He ain't gonna do it. It's a waste of time. So now you guys know who's the rebellious brother, the jerk brother. All right.
Hey, Aaron, Pat, y'all know Trayvon's baby girl, the redhead one, Kyla. He had her call me Uncle Jerk.
She called him Uncle Jerk herself, and Sherman says, "Oh, so that's what your dad says about me when I'm not looking." Well, if that's what you want to do, Sherman, let's talk about this. Let's talk about how today I was on the phone with Sherman, and his doggone daughter says, "Who's that, Daddy?" He says, "Say hey to your Uncle Trayvon." She says, "You mean Uncle Hairline?" That's what she said. Okay, so let's talk about that. Okay.
Oh, Trayvon.
Hey,
I got
I
something
do
to
want to- I want to put this up real quick, just because we had the conversation tonight. Ashley Nicole says if anyone needs some resources from members who have experienced sexual abuse, she can help. So
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
she does.
dope.
She does.
Thank you.
Yeah, she does great
Thank you.
work.
okay. Okay. So
Thank you.
okay,
Yeah,
cool.
she does great work.
All right. Alicia brought up the time that Sherman put my couch in the bathroom. He's doing this live. Wow. All right. Sherman rearranged my entire house. We'll talk about that next week, guys. All right. All right. Love you guys. Have a great night. We'll see you guys next Tuesday night at 10 something. Y'all just stick with us. Peace.